What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the recording. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. It's Friday, so things are winding down. Maybe we'll do a gaming stream tonight. Maybe I'll stream some Final Fantasy and we'll hang out or something just to kind of blow off some steam. It's been a wild week. I know today I've been really pushing on the getting people to try out Coffee Brand Coffee and join the Gilded. I promise I'll dial that back next week. I just really want to push hard to get people to try it out because I just believe in the product so much. And we're also doing a bunch of split testing on the website to see what works better. So I want to give people a reason to try it out. Anyway, I'll leave the link in the description. 17% off. It's the biggest discount I've ever given. This weekend only. Even if you don't drink coffee, tea, or cocoa, and maybe you know someone who does, share the promo code with them. I don't care. I would absolutely love for them to try it whole bean or ground, roasted, fresh on demand. This new level of desperation coming from lawmakers, desperate for cash, desperate for your money, I guess isn't any surprise given the economy, given the endless thirst of politicians for your money. They never look at the spending side of it. They're going to spend that money. It's just a matter of how can we find new ways to squeeze it out of Americans' pockets. And eventually, obviously, then go send it over to the Ukraine, or now for new missiles for Syria, or whatever it is that our warhawk leaders want. But apparently, there's now a new proposal of a tax on both Netflix and Hulu to save public transportation. Instead of raising the rates for the people that use the public transport. By the way, in New York City, it seems like the public transportation there might be the most dangerous thing you could do while you're in New York, but this is ridiculous. So you're going to tax people who are chilling at home and not, pouring diesel into the air. You're going to tax them for sitting at home watching TV and not using the bus. This is insanity. New Yorkers may soon, and by the way, this isn't just in New York. This is happening all across the country. I'm going to show you other examples of it too, and get ready for more of it in 2023, I assure you. New Yorkers may soon be forced to pay more for their streaming subscriptions like Netflix and Hulu in a bid to stave off a major MTA fare hike. So again, instead of raising the prices on people that are using the product, we're going to tax a completely separate thing to pay for it, even though the overwhelming majority of these people who have to pay this tax don't use the product. Democrat members of the New York State Assembly on Thursday submitted a budget proposal that would impose a 4% sales tax on popular video and audio streaming services. Other money-making schemes, and they are schemes, introduced in Albany include a fee on package deliveries and a surcharge on hailing rides, a surcharge on like Uber. The Metro Transportation Authority said it needs an influx of $1 billion to keep subways, buses, and commuter trains running. Every time I see a clip of a subway or a bus there, someone's getting like stabbed on it. So I don't know. I'd say close them down. It seems like it would be safer that way. Without resorting to the planned 5.5% fare increase, they'll boost the price from a single ride from the current $2.75 to $3. Well, you're just going to have to do that and let the free market decide. So my guess is that 25 cents isn't going to make a difference for a lot of people. And to be honest with you, I'd rather spend my money on something else where my life isn't put at danger. The proposal to tax streaming services is intended as an alternative to Governor Kathy Hochul's controversial plan to increase payroll taxes in a bid to raise $700 million, again, to bail out this public service. What is insane to me is that you would have a tax on the proposed tax on streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, and Spotify is expected to raise more than $1 million a year. While a 25-cent surcharge on package deliveries would raise another $300 million. A separate proposal would see the 50-cent fee tacked onto rideshare trips within New York City, which could raise another $240 million. So to be clear, in order to keep something going that you're not using, you have to pay more for everything else that you do. You get package delivered to your house, got to pay more money. This is like a direct, I don't know what you would call it, but a direct inflation of the cost of people's livelihoods, getting packages delivered or using Uber or whatever that case is. And they don't even, again, for something they don't even use, for something the city doesn't take good care of. The city can't even prevent people getting pushed on the tracks every other day. A representative of Uber warned that if approved, the new surcharge would be passed on to customers. Because of course it will be. It never stays at the company. Was anybody surprised that a company would choose to not make less money? It's absurd to me. Of course this gets passed on to customers. It's just moving it from one hand to the other and then pretending that you're doing something good for people. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like, well, hey, we don't want to tax you directly, so we'll just tax 3 other people indirectly, and it'll still get passed on to you anyway. This is politics. This is why I can't stand politics. So the consumer is going to pay more for Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus. They're going to pay more for their packages, and they're going to pay more for their Ubers. But somehow that's better than the people who actually use the dang thing paying 50 cents more money, 50 cents more per trip. But this isn't just a New York thing. This is a thing in the European Union. This is a thing in Chicago. This is a thing. This is just from August of last year. Apple will start collecting a Netflix tax in September. Apple will begin collecting taxes on Apple TV subscriptions within Chicago as part of its settlement relating to the city's amusement tax. Remember that? Everyone kind of got over that. That's what they rely on when they do these outrageous tax things, right? In July, Apple gave up its 4-year fight against Chicago's Netflix tax. The tax requires the tech giant to pay a 9% tax on streaming services income earned in Chicago from Chicago subscribers. This is just extortion. Why? What does the city of Chicago provide Netflix in any way, shape, or form? So your people that live there have to pay for the high-speed internet, right? They're paying for the infrastructure. They're paying for Netflix. And then what? And then Chicago says, yeah, we want a piece of that pie too. This is like why these are all the little paper cuts that end up. I mean, the idea that this would pay here again, this is from just a few days ago. Netflix refuses to pay extra tax demanded by the European internet service providers. European internet service providers. So now they want to tax Netflix. So when customers like us are like, why does my Netflix subscription keep going up? It's because our government keeps stealing our money through as using Netflix as a pass-through. This article, Netflix does not want to pay European internet service providers for rising traffic costs due to the popularity of the streaming video content. In a keynote address to the 2023 World Mobile Congress in Barcelona, Netflix co-CEO Greg Peters said, some of our ISP partners have proposed taxing entertainment companies to subsidize their network infrastructure, which would have an adverse effect, reducing investment in content, hurting the creative community, hurting attractiveness of a higher priced broadband package, and ultimately hurting customers. And let's be very clear. Netflix will be passing that on to us anyway. So if you're in Europe, Netflix is just passing that on too. See, although telecommunications operators say this tax would only apply to the content distributors like Netflix and Google, Peters warned that it could soon affect other companies because uncertainty for every internet user because the online world is changing. This will inevitably change over time as broadcasters shift from linear to streaming. What am I paying for when I pay for Charter Internet? Now, I pay for Starlink, but when people are paying for their internet, are we not paying for the internet? So why did cable companies get to then double dip? And by the way, again, they're just taking it from us anyway, because Netflix is just gonna take it out of our pockets. They're gonna say, well, gee willikers, we're barely making any money as it is. We're gonna have to pass this on to the customer. But the ISPs don't care. The governments don't care because they get their piece of the pie, a piece of the pie that they didn't earn. They didn't contribute to the ingredients. They didn't bake. They did nothing with, but they just want a piece of it because that's what governments do. Be wary of this stuff because it's coming. As more stuff moves online, less people use the postal service. They're going to start just stealing our money outright instead of overcharging us for subpar services like the mass transit in New York or the USPS or things of that nature. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do make sure you leave a like on it. Don't forget, today, it's National Let's Earn a Customer coffeebrandcoffee.com day, 17% off site-wide. All I ask is you give something a try, or if you don't like coffee tea or cocoa, maybe just tell a friend. Have them give it a try. See what they think. If you don't like it, well, that's just not going to happen because our ratings are extraordinarily well, but I'll make it right if you don't. All I ask is that you give us a try. We'll talk to you again real soon.